Hi everyone, I'm Emin from Bosnia and Herzegovina. I'm part of an initiative called the Workers' University. Beside me is Emin Eminagic, who is a worker from a factory from Tuzla. I'm sure some of you know of it, called Dita. We're gonna speak a little bit. I'm gonna give a short introduction about the context of what has been going on in Bosnia in the past 2 years, and then Minka will share her experience in Dita, and I'm gonna translate for her. Um, so. I'd like to start talking about a little bit about the industrialization process that happened during the war and after the war in Bosnia and Herzegovina and in Tuzla in particular. So the industrialization hit Tuzla heavily, in particular because Tuzla was an industrial center in the region of the former Yugoslavia. And nowadays you have unemployment numbers of going beyond 50%, which includes a youth unemployment under 33 years of age, about 80% in Tuzla alone. On the state level, it's a little bit less, but the numbers are sort of proportionate. So Tuzla's largest concentration of employed people was working in the chemical industry and in the chemical sector, and thus Tuzla, during its development phases in the former Yugoslavia, was a city that purposefully built and opened up universities to educate people to work in the sectors of mining, of chemical industry, So after the transition, or during the transition in the war, privatization processes started, and all of these examples are really examples of, to say it very softly, very irresponsible business dealings. And I mean, when I say irresponsible, I mean of course I'm sorry, just a second. I mean, of course, crony capitalist practices between friends selling shares of companies to friends and keeping it in the family, if you like to say it that way. So what has been going on, and Dita is a very good example of that. Since 1997, so right after the war, you have one company after the other being either shut down or completely stripped of its asset, or just being completely destroyed. Then in all this misery, we also are facing this alienation of our own bodies to what we used to call socially owned property, like Vida and Marko and Nina already mentioned. So socially owned property in Bosnia was renamed into state-owned property in 1994 in a constitutional amendment during the war. This was done in order to facilitate privatization as a process, because I even think, and you guys correct me if I'm wrong, there was even a legal article defining of what socially owned property is, by saying it belongs to everyone and no one. So this kept happening, and then the protest. Then after years and years of worker struggles in Tuzla and of different left-leaning initiatives organized by students and by activists and by artists, the protests came in February of 2014, in which we used the plenums as a means of struggle in order to give the people a voice, to give them political legitimacy, and to try to make the elites at least listen. Many people consider these to be large psychotherapies, and to that I say, so what? it's good. I mean, I think it's important to give people the space to finally start talking about their fears openly, because I mean, I've witnessed this personally. A worker at a privatized textile company was working on the production floor during summer, and it was like 60 degrees Celsius on the production floor. She asked to turn up the air conditioning. The next day she was laid off, and this is just one of many examples that are going on in Bosnia still nowadays, and people are simply afraid that they are replaceable like that, because if you don't want to work, somebody else is more than happy to do the work for you. So then after the plenums, after we finally started reclaiming our political language and started reclaiming our own political subjectivity, and not just being reduced to the ethnic key, to Muslims, Croats, Serbs, call it whatever you want. We started reasserting our own subjectivity with a certain position, that we are all together in the same boat, and that we are all suffering regardless of ethnicity or of religion or heritage. One success of that was, for the first time, as far as I can remember, in post-war media in Bosnia, you would hear terms like social justice, equality, solidarity, etc. So to cut this short, Minka will tell you a bit more about what they are doing in Dita right now after the protests, and I just want to say a couple of words about our initiative called the Workers' University, which is basically a solidarity network gathered around the protests and the plenums of different activists. And to me personally, one issue I am tackling with the Workers' University is exactly this alienation of the body towards the social. So Minka will now tell you a bit more about what has been going on, and all right, thank you.